221B Baker Street. In Arthur Conan Doyle's 1887 book, A Study in Scarlet, Dr. Watson describes visiting 221B Baker Street for the first time with Sherlock Holmes. He says it had a couple of comfortable bedrooms and a single sitting room, cheerfully furnished with two large windows. It became the home of Sherlock Holmes and featured in almost all of Conan Doyle's Sherlock Holmes mysteries. When the Sherlock Holmes stories were first published, the house numbers on the actual Baker Street in London only went up to 85, which is probably why Conan Doyle chose 221B for his fictional hero. In the 1930s, Baker Street was made longer and more numbers were added. The block containing the numbers 215 to 229 was used by a bank. The bank received so many letters for Sherlock Holmes from all over the world that eventually they had to hire a permanent secretary to deal with them. In 1990, the Sherlock Holmes Museum opened at 239 Baker Street. Eventually, in 2005, it managed to change its official address to 221B without moving. Today, any letters sent to 221B Baker Street go to the Sherlock Holmes Museum. On the first floor of the museum, you can find an exact copy of Sherlock Holmes' home, as it is described in the stories. Wuthering Heights. After the success of her sister Charlotte's novel, Jane Eyre, Emily Bronte decided to write her own book called Wuthering Heights. She worked on the novel between October 1845 and June 1846, and it was published in 1847. Unfortunately, she died the following year, so she never found out how successful her novel was. It received mixed reviews when it was first published, but now it is considered a classic of English literature. The story is set in Yorkshire in the 19th century. The main character is Heathcliff, and he lives in a house called Wuthering Heights. Wuthering is a local word which means wild, exposed, and storm-blown, and it fits perfectly with the themes involved in the novel. There are many houses in Yorkshire which people believe inspired Bronte to write Wuthering Heights, but there is one that is considered to be closest to the fictional home in the novel. Top Withens is a ruined farmhouse near Haworth, West Yorkshire, a location which is exactly the same as the one described in the book. It is a popular walking destination from nearby Haworth and Stanbury, attracting visitors from all over the world. In fact, it receives so many Japanese literary tourists that some signs along the footpath have directions in Japanese.